one thing is that we've talked a lot about this offensive line. We talked about Ben Morawski transfer in. We have Fraley, Connor Moore still here, and one of the notes from Katsunika is that Connor Moore was getting some work on the left side of the line. As we know, last year Connor Moore did have to switch around a bit due to just basic, injuries and inavailability. But with Morawski here, we are expecting Connor Moore, hopefully, not to get much work on the left side. But this is just a training camp thing. You want, especially your offensive line, to be able to move around in case injuries do happen. And from what Katsunika was saying about the drill, it was just a 3-man offensive line drill. So it was a center, guard on each side, but Connor Moore still getting some work in on that left side. But I believe he will be day one right tackle, as Morawski will be day one left tackle. And we know Fraley will be day one center, as Pat Fitzgerald actually did announce Fraley at Big Ten Media Days that he will be the center. So nice to see. It's just nice to know that Connor Moore's getting some work on the left side. Last from Katsunika, you pointed out just at the tight end position, Jaden Savory and Brendan Parashek were kind of getting the first team reps at tight end, and that Savory was looking really good. The second-year tight end had a really good day. Katsunika does follow up that they were the first two tight ends getting reps during the first few drills. It was followed up with Kai Rios and true freshman Eddie Whiting were kind of the next group. Now, we don't know if that's, the order of the depth chart. It is the first day of fall camp, so we kind of have to take some of these things with a grain of salt as, we figure out just who looks good with pads on and how they're adjusting, because this is all brand new to everyone. With Pat Fitzgerald here as the head coach. So we'll have to kind of monitor as the days go along what the kind of updates are from this first look. And the last little note from fall camp came from a friend of the show, Emmett Matazowski, that Anello LaFlette, I'm hurting with this name. Lafayette, it was a full go here. Summer camp was back and ready to go, and edge rusher who has that little spark in him. He was all padded up and participating today. So, just great news. No news is great news from Michigan State's first day of fall camp. As we'll dive into the players that did speak after and what Pat Fitzgerald had to say. The fact that these people were there, they're participating, it's all great news. So nice. Those were kind of the highlights from, the different people I know up there, what they were posting out of what kind of stood out. So it's just good. Lafayette's back. Connor Moore is working on the left side, and Savory and Parashek were the first two tight ends to kind of get work out of those drills. So that kind of goes to the news and notes. I want to thank everyone for joining us here at Michigan State Spartans Live, Voice of College Football Network. I'm your host, Ryan Elke. First day of fall camp. Now I want to dive into, kind of that post-game media. I was able to watch what Michigan State provided, Pat Fitzgerald speak. And I don't want to say it's a rerun of Big Ten Media Days, but it was the same people. It was Pat Fitzgerald, and then coming up to the podium, it was Alessio, it was Jordan Hall, it was Nakai Martinez. So drop in your comments also. Drop in the comments if there's anything you guys want to talk about after we kind of dive into what these guys said. There was a little bit of an athletic director update, nothing to be announced, but we are getting some news of interviews. And so we could possibly be seeing an announcement on that soon.